I'm about 80% of the way out on Florida State.
Florida State's tough.
I am hedging a bit, though, because there are aspects of this team that I really like. But the elephant in the room is that it's going to be year 7 under Mike Norvell, and Florida State went 5-7 a year ago. Granted, did some work in the portal. They come in as, I think, Bill Connolly's number 35 overall team in the SP Plus for whatever that means to you. Tough schedule. I think Bill had them at like 6.5 projected wins, which is probably not good enough. They get to 6 wins. I think Norvell's done so.
Right.
So it's a bit of an uphill climb, but there is talent on this team. What I took at least a little bit of comfort in is the fact that Norvell has at least acted in the offseason as if he knows it too. He's taken play calling duties back. Gus Malzahn retired, so he's no longer in the equation, but it's going to be all on Norvell now to call this offense. They did do some work in the portal. I don't know if they did enough work in the portal at quarterback.
Yeah.
This has been the thing that I've really been grappling with a lot with regard to Florida State. Ashton Daniels was named quarterback 1 back in April. Ashton Daniels comes over from Auburn. Previously, he was with Stanford. This was a very curious decision in my view. It just does not seem like the type of quarterback decision that's going to save a coach's job, if in fact that's what Mike Norvell is trying to do.
Right.
Ashton Daniels at his best, Dan, is a big mobile quarterback who is a load to bring down. And if you read the practice reports, he made strides this spring, pocket presence, vertical shots, all the things that coaches like to talk up, all that stuff. It's honky-dory. Great. He's also been fairly inconsistent as a starting quarterback. He's got a career completion percentage below 60%. If this is going to work, especially behind a new offensive line, they're going to need to build the whole damn plane out of the threat of him running. Can he run? Will he run? If he's going to run, the defense needs to be aware of it. Maybe that's how you open up some of these shots downfield. That, to me, is the main point of tension when it comes to Florida State. I don't get the quarterback decision, Dan. No disrespect to Ashton Daniels, but whether it was a decision guided by budget and what they had to spend at the quarterback position, or whether it was just they saw something here that they liked and thought could fit their scheme.
Right.
Whatever it is, I don't agree with either. And that, to me, is the biggest thing stuck in my craw with Florida State going into the year, and I know I'm not alone in that one.
I mean, isn't this the foundation of a lot of HGTV programming? When you have a house in a terrible location, you need to find a buyer. The buyer's like, look, we can live with this house because of the price point. We know that there's weird sex dungeon stuff everywhere, but we think if we spend less, we can use that budget on a renovation, right?
Right.
So Florida State, in a weird way, is your love it or list it. I don't watch enough HGTV to know which show this is most appropriate to compare it to, but we are sort of dealing with that with Florida State. That's why they have Ashton Daniels. Ashton Daniels wants to start for a major program. Florida State needs somebody who has started for a major program or has shown the ability at a lower level that he could thrive at a major program. We're looking at Florida State as a team with not a lame duck coach, but a hot seat coach, a coach that I think a lot of Florida State people are not thrilled to have back. And that's why we have Ashton Daniels. You get who you can get. Ashton Daniels goes where he can go. And here's the marriage.
The reason I'm not fully out, I do like their skill talent.
Yeah.
I do like Duce Robinson, who's 6'6", 230 out wide, one of the best receivers in college football. Backfield's awesome. I really like the backfield. Trey Wisner comes over from Texas. Ousmane Kromah had a really good campaign last year as a freshman, could be a star in the making.
Yeah.
It sounds like they might find some sets where they can get both their running backs on the field at the same time, which is low-key a fantasy thing over these last couple seasons. I don't know if you've taken note of this, right? When a team's got more than one running back, we're going to find ways to get them both on the field.
Of course. That's fine.
I like it. I mean, I think that's fun.
Yeah.
So there is that. It's not like they're totally void of talent. That's not the case at all. But it's a question I would say, at least at the quarterback position. Defensively last year, Tony White, they did make some gains. As Bill Connolly pointed out in his preview, they got better at bending without breaking.
Yeah.
But didn't force enough turnovers. They weren't very good in the red zone. They still allowed too many successful plays. It was better, and I think it could be better again this year. They did retain the services of the Desir twins, who were both in the portal at one point, but then came back. They're going to be guarding the edges. I like the line. I do get more leery on this defense the farther back you go into the back seven. But I would say defense is not my primary concern.
They had, I mean, you said bending but not breaking. They had the kind of inverse of that, though, didn't they? They sort of had the, like, not bending often, but when they did, they would break.
There was, the
red zone defense wasn't good, but they limited big plays.
It was a very strange profile.
It was a Dos Equis profile.
It was a strange profile. The issue I see for Norvell outside of the offensive stuff that I mentioned is probably the schedule.
Yeah.
There are 7 teams on this thing inside the S&P top 40. Miami, they're on the road.
It's just SP. It's no longer SNP.
Whatever.
Bill can't use that anymore because of, I think, Standard & Poor's, I think.
At Miami, at Alabama, home against Florida, home against Clemson, at Louisville, home against SMU, home against Virginia. And by the way, they're also at Pitt for a road spot. Pitt would be number 41 on the SP plus preseason projections.
Yeah.
So this is tough. This is a tough slate. Florida State in week 1 is home on a Monday night against SMU. They're off the next week. Then they go to Alabama. It's going to start off hot and heavy for the Seminoles.
Correct.
I almost think that SMU game is a must-win.
Sure, I agree.
I think they got to build some early vibes because this could come off the swivel rather quickly, especially with this schedule where they might not be a prohibitive underdog against a lot of these teams, but there are a lot of coin flips on here, Dan.
Yeah.
And you know as well as I, you start losing vibes, things got off to a bad start, it could go south in a hurry. That's what happened to Penn State a year ago.
Yeah. And look, I want to believe in reclamation projects that sometimes it's just bad luck where you've been and everything that happened at Stanford and Auburn last year for Ashton Daniels. But if I'm a starting point person, SPP, offensive line questions and quarterback accuracy and turnover questions in the same stew feels a little bit funky. And I just don't I don't like getting behind that. The schedule, at least, look, they've already proven that they're better than Alabama, right? They've already proven that.
They have proven that. They have proven that. In a moment in time, they did.
Not long ago.
No. It was, yeah.
They don't have a cross-country road trip, right? They're going to Alabama, but they're not going to SMU, Cal, or Stanford, correct?
Correct.
They, I think, don't get what they don't get. Well, they do get Boston College away, but otherwise, they don't really face the perceived lowest tier of the conference all that often, if at all, whoever you're considering that to be. Like, everybody kind of has a heartbeat on here, and that's not ideal for a team looking to win 8 games. Now, you can also look at where Florida State was last season. Like, look, they weren't far off. They were competitive in a lot of the games that they lost. And so it's figuring out how to go from a 3-quarter team to a 4th quarter or a double overtime team. They return a lot of players, good and bad for the situations.
Yeah.
My actual concern with this team on defense is just like, I think they've got pretty good players, but who's the 8th best player on this defense? And how does that compare to the best of their schedule? I actually think it's a quantity thing at a certain point on this defense. And obviously still questions on the offensive line. I don't think they're far off, but I think that's kind of the problem too.
Yeah.
That he's had this much time to be not far off
in year 7
at Florida State.
Right. In year 7.
That's kind of the problem.
If you want to start talking about like renovation projects.
Yeah.
I have a friend who has been renovating his bathroom for 7 years.
Yeah.
At some point, you got to finish the project and you got to show that there's a vision to move the whole thing forward.
And he's not finishing with a Toto Japanese built-in bidet situation.
I don't. It's probably a little bit above his price range.
Yeah. Okay.
This
Toto
has got
not a sponsor. 100% could be.
Oh, we absolutely. This has got to be the year for Norvell. It's got to be the year for Norvell. And
gotta clean that ass. Yeah.
If he goes 7-5, I think he's done so. I think it's like eight wins or bust.
It's a money thing too, right? I think it's not just a will they, won't they thing. It's will they, won't they find the cash.
Yeah.